Call to order. Melinda, if you'll lead us in prayer, Johnny in the pledge.
Tonight, if everyone doesn't mind, we'd like to say our Lord's Prayer because of all the stuff that's been happening in the world lately. I just think we need a little extra touch. If y'all want to join hands, you gotta hold my hand.
Don't be a germaphobe.
Y'all got it?
Oh, we're going down there.
Okay. Y'all ready? Our Father, who art in heaven,
Hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, power, and the glory forever. Amen.
Melinda, you got to realize black folks say it's different.
I followed.
Yeah.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
But we all say this one the same.
And the Catholics cut it off,
Yeah, we cut
Say the rest of it.
Yeah, we just say
On
the
a
rest
serious
of
note,
it.
I think that may be something that the board may want to consider doing from this point on, because it allows everybody to be a part of this one unit. And Melinda is right, that it's so much on whatever side you're on. And at some point, somebody's got to do something. So I think in unison serves a purpose, and maybe something that the board want to consider.
Good suggestion. Good suggestion.
Maybe something of personal, and then afterwards.
Good job.
Roll call. All right, Randy Rents.
Here.
Bo Barton. Melinda Ballard.
Here.
Baron Glass.
Here.
Maria Bass.
Here.
Gary Castles. Johnny Fallon.
Here.
All right, executive committee report, Johnny?
We are down $14.82 from this time last year on our taxes, and it just could be that they're just not getting it to us in time. I'm sure it'll be like last year, when they caught up. So that's where we're at right now.
We reviewed the bus bids, and everybody should have this in their folder, the bus bids in their folder. And it came back at one bus, which is not drivable, at $277, and the others, the high bid, were $577 on each one. After talking about it and trying to decide whether it was high or low, we basically decided it was a reasonable price for what we were, for what condition the buses were in. So, we just need to vote whether we're gonna accept these bids or not.
We have
James,
that.
hold on. James, you in agreement with this? I mean, do we need to reevaluate this, rebid them?
No, sir.
You sure?
Yes.
Agenda item F is where y'all are gonna adopt it.
Okay.
We can totally talk about it since it's happening executive, but,
All right.
yeah, it's all down there.
All right.
And
Last-
we don't have any bids on the meat house equipment, so
No.
anybody out there that wants to come look at it?
Is it good for scrap? Is that about all it's good for, or is it
Okay,
still-
yes, good for scrap.
It's scrap.
30 cents a pound.
I know a name. I
Not even deer stand chairs in there.
You have to be in.
Not venturing in there. Thought we made that
Do you
clear.
want to go take inventory?
Yeah, we'll go take inventory.
Maybe if you posted some pictures,
There you
it might
go.
entice some bidders.
That might not be a bad idea.
I have them every now and then.
Okay. So approval of the minutes from last month.
I make a motion, we approve the minutes from the August 14th board meeting.
Second.
Got a motion and a second, all approved?
Yes.
And Employee of the Month, Christy Wells.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. And I'm glad to be back with y'all. As you begin in this new school, I was picking on David. I said, I know he's hot. He's like, I love to tell y'all tonight, so I will not get in the way of the finances. But it's a privilege and an honor to get to recognize your September Employee of the Month was Christy Wells. Now, Christy has dedicated 31 years of service to the Caldwell Parish Schools, and during that time, she was an English teacher at Caldwell Parish High School. She was a guidance counselor, and she's currently serving as your CTE supervisor and testing accountability coordinator. Oh my. Yeah, bless you is all I can say, because testing used to be a season, now it's an entire calendar year. So, big job, lots of responsibility, and coming as a former CTE person and the daughter of a CTE teacher, that's near and dear to my heart. She is a tireless advocate for students, for teachers, and administrators, and she has represented Caldwell Parish at the Jumpstart Convention as a presenter, and those of you may recall, Jumpstart is the program that actually is the career diploma students and those that are career and technical education and lots of other things. She has presented at Bessie meetings on accountability changes and has attended Bessie meetings to learn what's going on with accountability. And at the Teacher Leader Summit in New Orleans, I heard, actually, just a bird told me, that she stood up and actually corrected some misinformation that came across. Neighboring districts invite her to come and train their counselors and their administrators. And she's a daily resource for accountability questions, constantly supporting individuals from the state. So she's not selfish to keep that knowledge in Caldwell Parish. She actually shares that with her friends across the state. She is known for being knowledgeable, respected, and a little feisty.
That was the polite way we could say.
Now, understand, Chrissy, I just read this.
I'm not
Christy is very passionate about seeing that every school and every student is successful. And Caldwell Parish School District and her superintendent and her colleagues are grateful for her leadership and proud to recognize Ms. Christy Wells as your September 2025 Caldwell Parish School Board Employee of the Month for her dedication and commitment to your community, your schools, and your children. Proudly sponsored by Pelican Benefits Advisors. I present to you September 2025, Ms. Christy Wells.
Appreciate it. The nomination was a little biased.
One of the nominations.
But I wouldn't have stayed 31 years here if I didn't enjoy it a little bit. And I do fight for our kids and our programs, so even though I'm not necessarily liked at the State Department all the time.
We put you up against anyone.
We get done what we need to get done. So, thank y'all. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Always been a little feisty.
Feisty? Was I feisty back then, Delinda?
You were feisty back
All right, that brings us to the People Progression Plan, and to review it, and I've got on parentheses Kim Adams, so I suppose you're gonna explain this to us.
Are you gonna? I had it up, I can't get it to stay up. There you go. Thank you.
I gave you all a copy of last year's plan last month, and then we snail mailed.
And then I paid copies to them too.
Okay, all right, so you've had the revised copy for a little while, then you have a copy in your folder. Basically, nothing changed other than some grammatical errors and some names of curriculum that has changed and some tests that have changed. And high school wanted to change a few point values on things, but there was really not much to change. The state makes the template, and really the very back of the plan, if you want to turn to those pages, that's where the changes were made. It should be 20. Page 20, where it starts with the general grading policy. this is always the part that gets revised, because this is always the part we have control over. So, Ms. McKeon, if you'll.
What page?
20, there, oh, too far.
Okay.
It changes, when I make revisions, it changes, if you'll go up
Okay,
It's actually
not the real 20.
19, not the real 20, the 20 on the old copy.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, right there. So starting there, we took out, on the high school English, based on, Mr. Amos and the English teachers and their feedback. He met with them. They made, the changes there. We added Imagine Learning. That's a company that Ms. Guerrero is a vendor, for online guidebooks and testing. The grammar and ACT practice assessments were added this year. That's something that they, an initiative at the high school where, the ACT scores, grammar is the part where we're not getting all the scores that we can. So they're adding in that into their instruction, and therefore they're adding that into their evaluative grades too. So those were the major changes. We added on the formative grades, TWR, which stands for the Writing Revolution, because we're trying to beef up writing, which is also an area on the ACT. So that was really it. If you'll go on down to the junior high, I think is next. ELA, basically the same exact changes as the high school, because they're working also with Imagine Learning. And then on everybody's, it changed from Edge Elastic, the company changed to Pear Deck, so we had to change that wording in there. And also Imagine Learning and TWR is added on the formative. They did make a change to bonus points. A maximum of 15 bonus points is allowed for 9 weeks, because we had some inflation, they thought. Going on over to the elementary, for English Language Arts, we had some changes there. 4th grade, 2nd through 4th grade now teach CKLA, which is it's a Tier 1 reading curriculum. 5th grade still teaches the guidebook, so that's why they're separated out there. And we also added the Writing Revolution, bless you, to all the grades, because writing is a weakness all across the district, so we're addressing that in every grade level, in every content level. Imagine Learning was also added to 5th grade, because they were in with that grant in the program with Ms. Guerrero. If you move on to K1, PLA, all we did was add Dibbles-like assessments, because they started adding those in last year, and Melinda wanted to add those in, so. We also reduced bonus points in elementary to 10 points.
You know, Kim, when I was down with other people from across the state on Monday, most people seem to have had a problem with Dibbles.
What kind of problem?
It really didn't go off until it just was, I've heard this name just mentioned several times, that, so I mean, is it?
Probably because it's a pain to get it all done in the time frame that the
And
state requires it.
And the platform that they used to test on, the computer platform, they changed the platform and didn't tell anybody.
Yeah, it was
There are a lot of technical issues getting the kids tested.
So is that an issue, a burden for the teachers?
No, we have a district testing team. It's me, Ms. Guerrero, let's see, the interventionist. We all go in and we do the testing. The teachers don't have to.
I think it was a superintendent from Tensall who sat right next to me, then the child welfare attendant officer Monroe said it. They just had issues with it, so I'm just kind of trying to figure
I
out.
think everybody was
What,
frustrated.
Well,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna say, there's a lot of people who probably didn't participate correctly in the pilot when it came out, the field test. We've been doing, this platform for what, three solid years. And, we've been trucking along just fine, because we test beginning, middle, end of the year. And then also in the summer for the kids that have to have it for third grade. And so when we logged in beginning of the year, they had changed the entire platform, the interface of it, and then they changed the way we actually got in. And so it did cause a lot of stress. Our team handled it, I thought, beautifully. We said, okay, you know, we figured it out, we got testing done. We started at Miss Gilpatrick's school, and I have not seen Miss Guerrero so hot.
Fortunate, other districts do have their teachers do the testing.
Yeah.
Our district does keep the teachers teaching and calls in a district testing team to do the testing, to keep the teachers from having to come out and do that testing. So that probably does alleviate some of that stress.
Yeah. And I'm sure technology-wise, because it's all, like, the test administrator's computer and the student's computer has to talk. And so as a test administrator, I control what's on the student's screen. And then you're also having to score it and watch their screen at the same time. And, you know, if it weren't for Michael and Brian and them, we probably wouldn't be as successful as we are. Because, I mean, the technology is key. And I can't speak for the other parishes and how great their technology is. But with our grants and things, we have bought touchscreen Chromebooks specifically to be used for testing that aren't out in the general population. So when the testing team comes in, you have really good computers that you're testing with, and our people are just good.
I will tell you one gripe is that the testing windows.
So there is a gripe, I
There's
mean, it's
gripe.
not just
The
roses.
middle
no.
of the year,
No.
the middle of the year window is
Grapes.
only December the 1st to December the 31st.
Yeah.
Now, how many of those days are we in school?
Well, I guess I'm
And
speaking
so
for
we're
me.
having to do literacy and numeracy in 2 weeks.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I'm speaking for me, because every time I'm told something, I don't want to hear all the good. Sometimes I want to hear
That's
the
the-
bad,
and
the
the
negative,
problem
so we
is
can,
they made that
so we can
law.
react to what we need to react to. So, again, I know that these people had issues with it because I talked to them specifically
Oh, yeah.
about it. So I'm trying to figure out what's different here in Caldwell versus some of these other places, what my point is.
Yeah, I mean,
It's not the actual test, Dibbles itself, I think it's the platform.
It was a platform issue, because even in my calls for accountability, the State Department lady, Jennifer Beck, she was very mad
Yeah.
at the platform, the company that we used. She was very upset with them because they changed the platform and didn't really tell anybody they were changing the platform, and so everybody started testing and it didn't work.
And I
If
can,
it was
So
an
you have
issue,
to
if there was an
learn.
issue with it, you would tell us, right?
Yeah, the test itself
Can I
is
ask a
fine,
question?
and our kids, our testers, once they got in it and saw the errors, they were done within 2 weeks.
Right, Kim, I think you're doing a good job, with it, because I've watched, you always send it to me ahead of time, so I did read all of it. And you notice I didn't call you, so I'm okay with it, but like I said, I just want to make sure that, because I don't like to be thrown stuff and not have a response to it.
and what
Because
this is on the K1 is they are preparing the kids so that they're ready and they're seeing the format of the test, because
Ahead
a
of
lot of the hurdle for the little people is the format. They've never been exposed to
Right.
like the font that's on the test and things like that. So Miss Carrerio does a fantastic job of modeling it for the teachers so that they understand. They actually take the Dibbles test, the teachers do, at the beginning of every year to see how they would do, and they're like, oh my God, so it's not easy by any means for the kids, and we always dread kindergarten because they've never had to do anything like this, and so it's a learning curve. And so part of the reason why we included it in here is to help them with the learning curve.
So can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So when you go into these classrooms, or do you take these children out?
We take them out. It
They
has
have
to be
to,
one-on-one.
they have to be one-on-one, and
Oh.
they have to be recorded so the State Department can listen to the test.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're recorded. We have to turn our microphone on and the volume's all the way up, and we get invalidated if it's not. You can't even start the test until your microphone is turned on.
So it's a one-on-one test? Oh, wow.
Each kid. And first grade has 7 parts, so it takes a minute to
do.
Which is the frustration, like Christy was saying, the middle of the year is the month of December, and we're only here for 2 weeks, so you have to test every single kid by themselves in a 2-week period.
Which
But
is,
it's
which
not
is bad
just
enough for
every-
literacy, but now we've added numeracy
Twice.
and we've gotta get them both
Yes.
done in
Yes.
those 2 weeks.
In the same
Yes.
window, with the same testing team.
Yep.
I don't,
And
that's
we
the
did
gripe.
expand our testing
If you wanna
team
hear
this
the
year.
gripe, that's the gripe.
Amanda Renz and Robin
is
Nelson
they
have
made
come
it
back
long.
and they're
It's
testing
long.
they're testing our junior high kids for us.
Yeah.
The ones who, is it just junior
It's-
high?
No,
There's in
it's,
high school, too.
there's 7, 8, and then the 9th grade.
And the ninth grade, they're testing our upper who are not required by the state.
We
but,
do K,
Yeah.
we do K6, and they do 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
Grades 2 through 5, math, we're switching over to math. Really, the only changes in math was we had to change the name Edulastic to Pear Deck. Secondary math, they changed the same thing, and they also added some checkpoints for formative grades. And then the junior high wanted to change their maximum bonus points to 15 instead of 25. High school wanted theirs to remain the same. Going on to the Amplify Science, iQuest, Social Studies electives. This year, it's probably the last year this will all be lumped together. Just because it's getting more and more. But they added, writing in for science and social studies, and, standards-based quizzes and standards-based assessments, because that is our, one of our priorities this year. They also made changes to their bonus points at the bottom.
I got my fingers crossed to make sure I hit that. So with our priority, now that our accountability system is changing, in ELA and math, it's mastery and advanced are all you get points for, and then your growth. So the student's growth, and then you have a bottom 25% that you get growth times 2. But for science and social studies, the only points we're gonna get are for students who score mastery and advanced. And so we're trying to figure out, okay, how are we gonna get all of our kids to mastery and advanced in all of our science and biology and civics? And so writing is the key, because there are writing prompts on every one of those assessments. And so we've really pushed in, we've trained our teachers and our instructional coaches in the writing revolution, and trying to push in writing into every content area, because that's where we feel like we'll be able to move the needle with our students and their comprehension. If you understand it, you can show it through your writing.
I was gonna ask what you were doing to prepare kids that were this close.
Yes,
Yeah.
that.
So that's the
So that's,
writing.
and it's all together. It's our priority, it's what we're doing with our professional development, and now it's here in our pupil progression plan. So it's part of our grading policy. So if it's everywhere you look, then it's going to get done.
If you'll move, to where the 9-week grading periods, that's the next set of changes. Keep going. Whoa,
Up the top of
at
that.
the top of that page. Okay, right there, we made a change on that first, oh, I see a typo. I'll have to fix that.
I can fix it right now.
Please.
I love to do that.
Okay, do you see it?
No.
Unless prior
Oh, yeah,
approval,
okay.
which is the change that we made, and I didn't catch, not prior,
Prior.
Okay, so we did change that, so there are, on every different level, K1 has their own little section about how many points are required for 9 weeks, because everything is oral. At the beginning of the year, like oral testing, they can't write, they can't sit down and take a test. So it's really hard to get that many points when everything is one-to-one testing. And so we made that change last year. So this year, we put a little clause in there that because the first 9 weeks and the last 9 weeks, it's really hard, and we found that teachers were just giving tests just to get a total number of grades instead of giving a test to actually test what they needed to assess.
So Kim, that's what I was gonna ask Ms. Gill, the two principals that was here, how did their teachers So I'm glad that you addressed it, because I was going there next.
Yeah, so what the teachers asked for was to be given wiggle room on the first and specifically the last 9 weeks, because the last 9 weeks, once you hit testing, you're pretty much done. There's no more room for teaching, and so it's hard to get a grade. And if your pupil progression plan says you have to have this many points, they're gonna get that many points because that's what's in the policy. But if the principal has a discretion and say testing starts in April and they have 450 points and the principal feels like that is enough for that 9 weeks, then she can make that discretion.
You know, in the drafting stage, are principals, teachers, they give input
We
on
have a
this
meeting.
group? You get pretty good participation
Yeah, they were all good.
from,
They were
I mean,
all
people
good.
not afraid to say what they feel like.
Oh, no,
Right, okay.
no, it was
Well, I
it
think
was a
if you get,
spirited meeting.
yeah, well, it can be that way, but as long as it's done respectfully and they give, you know, some input and feel like, you know, that they're part of the process. Now, it doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily mean that what they're asking for, they're gonna get it, but
Right.
input and communication always kind of
Yeah.
minimize
Yeah,
issues
I
down the
have a
road.
whole stack in my office of the revisions, and then the recommendations from the high school English teachers that I keep as evidence that we've met and they've had their input. We added the word unexcused under the attendance because it was not there. And then on Caldwell Parish individual support plan, the only thing we changed, it said academic plan, but they changed the name of it to individual support plan, so that's what we changed. It's just that wording. And we changed, it said 4th and 8th, we said K through 5 and 8. And that was it. Do y'all have any questions?
In my mind, what I see is it starts with Monica's group, and then you start building until it gets, so that whenever you do get to the 3rd grade and they're testing, they've been building all this time. And I know it seems like something, we're like, well, the 3rd grade teacher did this and the 7th grade teacher did that. But it's building the whole
It's
time. So I
all
want
of
everybody
us.
to know that it's building the whole time. Those teachers tested them and worked with them, but there's been other people involved in their life the whole time.
Oh, definitely,
Yeah.
yeah. And to see the progress that some of these kids have made since Monica's had them, it's quite amazing. You know, sometimes we don't get to see the behavior straightened out or the academics straightened out till junior high, but when you do get to see it, that's why I like going in and testing at the junior high, because I get to see, oh my gosh, you know, just how much they've grown since they were a kindergartner. So you get to see that progression. So that is the part of testing that I like, but that's probably the only part.
So Kim, within the first 30 days, that's satisfied? We've done
Yes,
that?
we do it. Marie and I do them, yes. I do the math, and Miss Ferrari does the literacy. We fill them out for these ladies, and then they get the signatures. It's a lot.
You think that's enough time for y'all? You need
No.
Really?
That's
It's the law.
Absolutely not.
So Betsy would be the one to change it, and we can't get them to.
Because, you know, within the first 30 days, you're doing a whole lot of stuff just
Now
to,
you're doing
just to
And
function.
actually, it's not even Bessie,
You know.
if you look at Act 422,
It's
it's
a
a
law.
legislative.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, we have a legislator which is 2 miles from us. I don't know if we invite him, he's not here, he's never been there, whatever. So I think that conversation needs to be had, especially if it's an impediment, you know, on, you know, teachers, faculty, or whoever. Again, I'm just trying to help, because I don't care whether it's 30 or 40, but I would prefer you guys have enough time rather than rushing to try to, you know, get stuff done, because it's not fair to you guys, nor is it fair to the kid.
And you know, that right there is the least of my worries compared to getting the testing done in the testing window. Our biggest concern right now is that mid-year testing window. I don't see how it's possible.
What's the window?
It's the December.
It's the month of December.
It's the month of December,
We
and
have
we
2
only have
weeks.
2 weeks.
And we have to screen literacy and numeracy in that time.
For every school?
For K
Well,
three.
K through.
Yeah. So
And
nobody's
we've
talked
asked-
to Neil about it.
Well, I don't know about
I think
talking to him,
that's-
but we, you know,
That
I've talked
was
to,
Bessie.
we've talked to
yes.
the
Say,
state.
Well,
that
it's-
fall
She
under?
says law.
They say law, so we had a call on Friday, and we asked the question while we were in here, and the response we got back from the accountability department was, this is a pilot year, so maybe we
Well,
can have
that's just
some,
numeracy.
just numeracy.
That's just
Maybe we
numeracy.
can have some wiggle room with numeracy, and they would get back with us.
Yeah,
But-
30 days is,
Yeah.
When
I
you're
mean,
not in
that's
school,
not-
to, no school is in, you know, in
again,
school
Brenda,
2
it's
weeks.
just like you
I'm
said
not
at the fair.
going to kids' homes and testing them.
If it's
Bringing them a
middle
gift
of the
from Santa.
year, it should be December to
Here's your
January.
gift.
Because I
Sit
can't
down, let's do
imagine, we
this.
don't have a whole lot of kids. I
Right.
can't imagine districts that have huge schools.
So do y'all
being able to
be,
get
you
it
feel
done.
forced within those 2 weeks?
I mean, it's gonna be tight to get them done.
And then on top of that, you have Christmas programs.
Yeah, Christmas
things
and
going on
yeah, all
in
that
schools,
And
stuff.
so-
kids are absent.
You got 12
I mean,
days.
if a kid's absent, you can't get them
So you got
tested.
12 days to
Need to be
perform.
good.
And they're not
12,
thinking
12.
about testing in December.
12 in November, 12 in
Yeah,
December.
the little
Here,
one,
you need
yeah.
another one?
Nah, I guess it's
Okay.
okay, as long as mine's blue. You know, it's the-
I just need y'all to pass it.
And we're-
I'll make a nomination that we pass the 2025, 2026 pupil progression plan.
A second.
All in favor?
So Kim, we're going to school on Monday for that period of time, help y'all out?
No,
Not if- not
I
if they-
think it
not
would-
if they wouldn't come.
they're not gonna come. Yeah. It would probably make it worse.
Especially coming to take a test.
Yeah, they feel punished.
Yeah.
You know what would make it better, if you want my honest opinion, is if they would ask us before they gave the windows, if they would ask district leaders, is this feasible? What about your calendar? I mean, cause school calendars are made in April, so if they would ask, we could let them know, we only have 2 weeks of school, you know.
Every
They-
district.
Every district is, but they just created this law, we're gonna have screeners and set the windows and put it in the law and so.
Didn't
because
even
it's-
think about that.
Do this.
Where are you going?
Every school district.
Not
takes
thinking
off
that
tickets.
you're out for 2 weeks for Christmas. Cause I think the beginning of the year and the end of the year,
Those are
it's
fine.
better, but December's bad.
Well, and on top of that, you have a completely different assessment for your alternate assessment kids that has to be given.
And it greatly affects the scores, very, very honestly. I mean, children, especially in kindergarten through third grade,
Right.
all they have on their brain in December is Santa
Right.
Claus.
That's true.
And so it being, you know, given, you got all the excitement going on at school, we try to make it fun for the kids during that time to get them there, because that's also sickness season. And so, you know, when they put that window on us of December, which is, you know, Santa Claus season, and, you know, all the fun activities at school, that does tank our middle of year scores, because
Well, and they're also out of sorts because there's so much going on with their families and their churches and events after school. So they're not in a routine at home, which puts them out of sorts when they do come to school.
And they also raise the benchmark for middle of year. So from beginning of year to middle of year is here, from middle of year to end of year is here. So it's a huge jump, and they're
Yeah.
testing us testing our students at the worst time of the year for a small child. I mean, I understand junior high and high school children might be able to mentally separate that, but a K through 3 is not. I mean, all they're worried about is Christmas break is coming and all of that.
So
And then,
what-
like,
so
for
what would
each
be a better
measure-
date? I mean, just a.
January.
Well, they need to
January.
extend it, make it a
January.
winter,
Extend it,
extend it and go
At
into
least to the
January.
middle of January.
Let us get back into the swing, you kinda get back going after Christmas break, okay, break is over, we're ready to get back going. You know, it's time to focus again, and the children are usually back in January, because they're not taking Christmas vacations early while prices are cheaper. You know, so those things, all of that greatly affects these scores that we're being held accountable for.
But see,
Sorry,
Melissa,
soapbox.
I'm wondering if anybody has heard what you're saying, to get to understanding that it's a problem with what it is that you guys are doing, but you have no earthly idea what it is that you're doing, you just write something to say that you wrote it. So I think the balance given is what you guys are saying, this is why we need what we're asking, because of the issues, because we wouldn't have known it, Randy, if we wouldn't ask these questions right now. So I know they don't know it. And I think it's, you guys' voices in some, kind of way need to be heard, because I think people listen, especially if they say they want to make education better. Well, you're doing the opposite if you're putting all these impediments on teachers and principals and kids. I mean, Christmas time is supposed to be jolly. It's obviously it's not. With all this mandated stuff.
So that's the reason why it's very frustrating to see that big dip in December, when you know how hard your teachers have worked, but it's the worst time of the year for testing.
And they're just trying to survive.
And they're just trying to survive until January, so, it makes
So
no
Kim,
sense.
that, in this particular, I guess, range is part of the teacher's evaluation at the end of the year, right? No?
No, the K-3, not now. I guess it could be in the future, but right now, their evaluations are, half of, based on their student learning targets, which are, most of the time, are written based on end-of-year goals.
Okay.
And then the other half is based on their evaluations, their classroom observations.
And when you look at accountability, they're gonna look at the kids end of year to end of year.
Yeah.
But doesn't that period of time affect the end of the year? It doesn't? Okay.
It is very deflating.
It is
But it
deflating,
looks
yes.
bad.
Because they
Yeah.
work so
Right,
hard.
but that's the reason why I'm trying to.
It's
my point I'm trying to
And
get
they
to.
see the dip,
Yeah.
and so it's like, what are we not doing?
So that dip is shown.
Yes.
Yeah,
Not
that's-
necessarily on the report, on the final evaluation, but it is shown.
They can see
I'm
it when
looking at
they
it
do
and
it
going,
in
oh,
meetings.
you know.
But
They're not
I guess if
penalized
somebody
for
It's
it.
a kick in the gut.
Right, but if somebody wanted to use that against a teacher, then it would be there to be used, right? I mean, if it's there and you see it and you want to get rid of this teacher, it's there to be used. So,
We don't look at one piece of data for that. I mean, you would have to have,
We would be working with an intensive
yeah,
assistance plan.
there would be a
trying to
plan
help.
and there would be multiple conversations, but not all based, you don't base disciplinary actions on that.
And a lot of times, Ms. Guerrero is really good at explaining this. You look at it as if everybody took a dip in December, it's not a classroom problem, it's a grade level problem, or it's a school-wide problem. So you really have to look at the big picture. If you had a big dip in dibbles or numeracy in the middle of the year, you really have to look at it by classroom, by grade level, and then determine, okay, what do we need to do differently?
but
And so,
I guess what I'm getting at, if I wanted to get rid of Maria, and there's a dip that's there, I certainly could use that because that information is available to be used. I'm not saying that you're doing it. I guess I'm looking at the probability, because right now I'm looking out for the teacher, just like I was looking out for you guys earlier. So I want to make sure that there's a balance there, so everybody that's part of this process is, got some type of equality that's there, so.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
yeah.
But fortunately,
Mhm.
their goals are not set based on beginning to middle of the year. Their goals and how they're evaluated is set from beginning of the year, the baseline data, how the kid started, and how the kid ended.
And it's
And we
also
look at growth. We don't
growth,
look at,
yeah. So if you have a student who was really, really weak and they didn't grow as much as a student that was a little bit stronger, but they did grow, you look at that growth, because not every student's gonna start at the same level that they're gonna end at.
We look at closing gaps.
Mhm.
We're looking at constantly closing those learning gaps, and when we sit at MTSS meetings and we look at every piece of the puzzle, you look at absenteeisms, you look at, all the different parts of the puzzle to make decisions.
And I know on the pupil progression plan, when we talked about putting dibbles in there, the teachers really wanted that, because that kind of forced them, and also made sure that they explain that to the parents. This is how they're being tested, beginning, middle, and end. If you don't see that, and just, except for 3 times a year, and you don't practice that, but 3 times a year, or do that 3 times a year, you're not gonna be fluent with it. So a lot of times, it's just keeping the pace, and keeping them practicing that, basically that activity, and how to test it, so.
So we would need to write a letter or something to representatives
Well, I just think their voice needs to be heard, how they choose to do it, you know. Just really more of encouragement, because every time you turn around, every meeting is something different. You know, it's 12 times a year, we meet 13 times, it's something different. And I just don't see how you guys can adjust when you come in January, then you gotta do something in February that you wasn't doing it. I don't understand, and I think our voice is supposed to be, you know, in support of you guys, to try to listen what your concerns are, try to find out what they are, and try to mediate or whatever, even be the voice for it, you know. I don't have a problem, but I think we miss opportunities when we got a state representative right here that's personal friends with all of us, and we don't invite him to the meeting. I just think that's not a good, you know, goal to set. I think he needs to be here, because you guys, it's only gonna get worse. You know, it seemed like, again, from '93 to now, it's totally different. You couldn't get me to run school board now, under no circumstances. Wouldn't even think about it.
Don't discourage people.
Yeah. It's a joke, you know?
It's a great job.
But you can go in and email your representatives, and if
You
everybody will
can.
start sending emails, that will help.
Because 30 days is not a long time.
12 down to 30 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But 12, what, 12 days?
12 for Christmas.
Yeah.
12 days during Christmas is even,
Right.
The Lord help if one of the testing teams.
All right, Randy. I'm sorry.
I would like to say that, you know, I think it's a good idea that we do communicate to our legislators in some way, some manner, as to what we've been talking about, you know, to adjust this. Not that they're gonna go down and change everything between now and then, because that ain't gonna happen, we all know that. But maybe, you know, they'll throw something out there for next year, and maybe, you know, somebody will think, hey, you know, like might go and say, you know, that might work out there. You know, maybe we should do that. So, yeah, I think it would be a good idea to cut a letter to each one of our legislators.
Do we need to use this Act 422 as, this is what I'm referring to when I'm asking you about this?
No,
That's just-
That's the ISAB.
Okay.
I'm not
Christie,
sure, I'd have to look and see what that act is.
let's add that to our agenda tomorrow. We'll
Yeah.
draft a letter.
And I can say, I mean, I
Oh,
know
I'm
I
not bringing
appreciate
them
it, and I know Melissa appreciates it, that the fact that our district has seen that, hey, we need a team to do this. It doesn't take our teachers away from instruction. And I know other districts do have their teachers test their own students, and those students have to be tested one-on-one. So not only are you taking this teacher out for days at a time for literacy, now you're doing it for numeracy. So, I mean, hats off to our district team that does all of our testing, because I don't know how our teachers would be able to continue with all the testing that they have to do. Not only testing for just their daily instruction, but then turn around and test for, you know, numeracy and literacy. So
I mean,
they
it's
are a
like changing
huge,
hats
huge
all the
help.
time.
Yes.
You can't keep it up. But I think it's great that Kim and them do go in,
Yes.
and they see the kids individually.
Kim, how often does a team meet?
All the time.
Also-
We're together a lot.
Also, on this letter, I think we should have every school board member sign.
Kim, if you don't have to do it now, just text me the members of it that's on the committee. Because
The testing team?
yeah, I like to see how they feel about it, you know, because, I mean, if we got issues that we can try to resolve to help you guys, I think that's what we need to do. Because again, Randy, I'm gonna speak for me, I would not have known what you told me tonight had I not talked about it. And I know again that those other people have no earthly idea what they're writing, what they're doing. They're just putting something there to satisfy whatever needs to be satisfied, but at the end of the day, somebody at the bottom is suffering. And I think somebody needs to speak up for teachers, somebody needs to speak up for administrators, somebody needs to speak up for the overall education process, because we got, I think in my opinion, because I've seen them, too many weak people that get in certain areas, then they fold, knowing that it's not in the best interest of it, they give this vote over here for something else. But teachers are always left out. We want to help education, we want to do this, nobody never does it. And I've tried to stand on that concept for 30 plus years, and I'm going out the same way that I came in. I think you guys are underpaid, you're undervalued, and I think you need to have a voice specifically speaking for you guys on a daily basis. And I don't think you have it. And Brandon, I think we may need to engage more. Like you said, it may not change nothing, But I do think talking to people and letting them know what your concerns are, it does open eyes, because I can tell you personal examples that have happened over the last 3 or 4 months. We're getting with Chris Turner, and union stuff happens when you let them know. So I think we have a chance to at least be in the ballgame. And I feel sorry for you guys.
Well, if you wanna be
All right.
test trained.
I'm sorry, dude.
Sorry, there you go.
Kim, when I leave, I'm going. Matter of fact, I'm blocking my number from Nick.
All right, let's move to the next agenda item.
Or anything for delirious.
All right, we're moving to F. Review and vote on
Actually, we
the.
have to do E.
Where's E? Oh, meat house. Well, we don't know anything on the meat house, so we really don't have to do anything on the meat house, right?
Yeah.
So let's just skip over.
You're gonna go take pictures.
Yeah, we're gonna go take pictures.
We will revisit this in the
All
future.
right, so let's go ahead and go to F and review and vote on the highest bidder for 6 buses that we discussed earlier in our executive. And that was the 577 on those buses. This right here, what we're looking at. And just need to have a motion and a second accepting this, if this is what we're gonna go with.
I make a motion to accept the bid on the recommendations of Mr. Wells.
Kaylee, does it have to be roll call? No?
No, sir.
Okay.
We have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, now that moves us to G. Consider a motion to approve the one-time stipend funded for the special MFP account of $2,000 for teachers and certified staff and $1,000 for support staff, excluding ineligible positions.
And pre-K staff, right?
That's the pre-K stuff.
So,
That'll move us to H after we do this.
It's not just the pre-K.
No, G and H
It's
go
not just
together,
the pre-K
really.
stuff.
G is the guidance that's provided, and I have a copy of that behind G and H. And this is exactly what we did last year, it's $2,000 and $1,000. It's paid to everyone except for pre-K, and certain other positions are not at the full $2,000 level of profession. And any difference, we got, last year we paid out of sales tax. I think it's around $7,300. This year, Head Start paid for their people out of Head Start. So this year, they're not gonna be able to do that. So that $7,000 will probably be close to $25,000 on their side and another $7,000 for the other positions as well. So the question is whether y'all want to pay it out of general fund or pay it out of sales tax. In the budget that you'll see, I do not have it in the general fund, but I can move it.
So Monica, when you cut funding, what's the difference this year than last year?
So Head Start is almost like this planning, if the board as in whole is paying someone else out of something, out of general fund, so you can't use that money to pay them. However you're paying other people, you have to equitably pay them. It's almost like it's a planning thing.
This is the $2,000 that last year the governor said we're gonna do this for y'all, and then it fell back on
This is the
schools.
stipend that the state gave, they just don't fully fund.
Yeah.
Pre-K, so Head Start course is not in it, pre-K is not in the MFP.
So David, what are we dealing with budget-wise? How are we gonna be able to give it to general fund?
We do this out of sales tax, we're looking at $32,000, right?
Correct. And move out of general fund, we're gonna move the general fund deficit from 300,000 to 32.
Personally, I think it ought to be done out of sales tax. Doesn't it? Do we have any discussion on that?
Something I told Nikki, I know our people don't generate MFP money, but there's 31 kids right now with IEPs already, they do get MFP money, and it's over $200,000 those kids are bringing in, so I'm assuming general fund.
So you saying your people should get this money, huh?
Well, I'm just saying, they're not, it's not in the allocation, but.
So you saying your people
They
get
are.
this money?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was hoping, I think they should, I think,
Oh, yeah.
you know, all of them should, but
Absolutely.
I think our decision, whether it's gonna come out of sales tax or whether it's gonna come out of general fund.
well, I mean, Randy, you already know it can't come out of general fund.
Right,
You
that's
already
right.
know that. I mean, that's a no-brainer, because you can't do that.
Yeah, I'm just bringing it to y'all's
Yeah.
decision. I asked Nikki about it, and she said that's a board decision. And
I will happily defer it to him.
So we're gonna need a motion on, we're gonna need a motion on something.
When does this have to be done, Dave?
Today.
we're gonna be paying it out on November 14th. You have to be employed by October 31. I mean,
Yeah.
technically, I guess we could push it off till October meeting.
Randy, I'm gonna move to table this until, now that's me, you know, it doesn't have to pass, but,
Do you think the finance committee needs to discuss it?
well, what I do know is it can't come out of the general fund.
Right,
So,
and that's the question.
Yeah, I think,
Like, it
David,
needs
if
to
you guys could.
happen, but we need to
Right.
decide
Yeah, there's no
where
other-
it's coming from.
Yeah, there's no other option between those.
Right.
Yeah, so
Right.
I understand where you want to tell it, but I don't understand how that would solve anything as far as our decision.
I mean, we all agree it can't come out of general.
So what happens, to our, sales tax?
It'll be slightly less,
But it can't-
assuming we collect the exact same dollar amount. I mean, we did have a little bit of money left over a month.
Yes.
Have that with me.
Yes.
Looks like we're around $300,000 on balance. We're using $120,000 towards the May 31st payment to the support staff. So, I mean, we could pay that as on balance. You know, we get it that way. The fund balance out of sales
Right,
tax.
sales tax.
So, just a question. We're gonna be getting money from Medicaid stuff for these kids, right? So at the end of the year, if we have the money, we could move it back into sales tax?
Yeah.
If we've got the
We could
extra
do that.
money, we could do that?
If David's budget ends up going positive, we could take that positive and put it in. I like what you're thinking.
I like your thought process, but
I know
And
it's
based
just
on what
something-
happened with last year's budget, it's a
It's
possibility.
a possibility that we could, that way we could go ahead and say, okay, we've got your money, we're
Yeah.
paying you. So everybody gets their money for Christmas and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
And then, if God's willing and the creek don't rise, we would have this little extra that we could take and put back in there and cover the sales tax.
So is that, do you want to put that into a motion?
I think that's wise.
Yeah, I'll put it into a motion.
What's your motion, Melinda?
My motion is that we take and pay the people from the sales tax. And I wanna go ahead and include the other people too. I want everybody to be covered.
well, that'll be item H.
Yeah, item H and G,
Everyone should.
yeah. So, wait and make sure that they get their money. We'll take it from the sales tax. Hopefully, we will have money left over at the end of the year, and we can take that money and move it from general fund and put it back into the sales tax, so that maybe we can make up for the people when they get their 13 check.
Melinda, don't want to debate you, but this is contingent upon, so what if we don't have the money?
Then they
Maybe
don't,
like we did last year,
the sales tax will be a little less.
Then
if we
sales
don't.
tax would just be less, but
And where y'all think? Are y'all working?
I'm 100% in favor of them getting it. I just have a problem with where we're going, with some of these, the next couple items. So, Randy, if you want to vote now, I'm okay with that, as long as it's not coming out of general fund. So,
Right, and then it's not coming out of the
And
general fund,
that's
it's coming out of sales tax.
I think we're all in agreement that it has to come out of sales tax.
There's nowhere else we could get it from.
Right.
Right, there's nowhere else there, it's not there.
But we're also in agreement that it needs to happen.
Yeah, but we also need to realize that we're only increasing the deficit that we already have. Which, this is not the first year, not the second year, not the third year. So that's my concern.
Which is why we
Well, it
want
won't increase it if we do it out of sales tax, that's the point.
Right.
I
So,
feel
yeah,
like we're
yeah.
all in agreement,
Oh,
though,
yeah, no
is what
doubt.
I'm
We
saying.
wanna do that. No ifs, ands, or
On
buts. about it.
both.
But I'm just adding that if we do have extra
In the
money
instance
left in
that
the
we
general
do.
fund, let's replace this money.
Oh, no doubt.
And put it into
If
the
we get
sales
it.
tax
Right.
and give it to them. And I know it's a,
You know,
who
bank.
knows?
But it's vocalized.
Right, right.
What you're trying to say, that fund balance.
Oh.
I thought you said Nikki.
Yeah, but I was trying to get everybody's attention.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think
Now you got
everybody
the spotlight
understood.
on you, Rebecca.
Sorry.
So,
I think
You were
everybody
saying smart
right,
things
so-
that everybody needed to hear.
Carla has said something smart.
Yeah.
Spotlight.
what do we do now?
Because the rest of the time I say dumb things.
Please enlighten
Well,
us.
I was just asking him, and so what he's saying is that we have a fund balance in sales tax. That means we have money left
How
that
much
was
is that
not
fund balance?
distributed from our previous year.
How much is that fund balance
I
cost?
think it was 286. about-
286,000?
Yes, sir.
But then we're taking so much of it for that May stipend.
Right.
120,000.
That would leave money that would cover this combination of 32 between G and H.
So it's still coming out of sales tax.
Yes.
So-
Exactly.
But it's not this year's sales tax, it's
It's
last
last
year's fund balance from the sales tax account.
So
So-
it
Go
is
ahead,
still
Ms.
their
Becker.
money,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's not like
We
we're
can
taking
still-
away from this year.
We can still do what you
I didn't
wanna
know
do.
if y'all understood that.
I don't wanna take
Thank
more
you.
away from
Okay.
that 13th check.
I guess I did do
Got
something
it.
smart.
I
All
knew
right,
it would be
all
smart.
right, yeah. So we're gonna vote on Melinda's motion, but we need a second on Melinda's motion before we vote on it.
I second that.
Okay.
That's it.
All right, and it's gonna be a roll call, right?
So we need to do G and H separate?
Yes. G is actually for the money that comes from the state, to pay out to the people that the state gave money for. We just need to set that date that it's gonna be paid out on the 14th of November for employees who are employed as of October the 31st.
And that money, we get money from the state?
It's rolled down. They give it to us, they gave us a
still give some
deadline.
to cover everything.
Yeah.
Right.
They don't pay
So
for
the
that.
question
So where does that money go?
So it's like 7,000 is coming from the sales tax.
Yeah.
From the
Yes.
sales tax, okay.
Again, my seat mate, if there's no rush to do this, I think we may be able to do it a little, because I'm not gonna vote no, but I'm gonna abstain because I have some issues with, some areas that we should have touched. So if you're gonna do it now, then I'm gonna abstain. So roll call, Kaylee.
Okay.
Well, you got a second, right?
I have a motion by Ms. Ballard and I have a second by Ms. Bass. Okay, roll call. Mr. Rentz.
Yes.
Mr. Barton is absent. Ms. Ballard.
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Glass.
I'm abstaining, yeah.
Ms. Bass. Yes. Mr. Castles is absent. And Ms. Ballard.
I vote yes.
Yes. 1, 2, 4 votes. So it's not.
Do you
And that was on G.
Yes, sir.
All right, now we're moving to H. Right. Now we're moving to H. Do y'all understand, everybody understands what we're doing, we're moving to H, and it's the motion that Melinda put forward, and you seconded. So now we're moving to H, and we're voting on that.
Oh, so we're not gonna read this out, okay. The count codes do not match and all that stuff, okay. So it's the same motion for this one, and the same second for this, is what I'm understanding?
Except that it's paid out of sales tax, and in the event that general fund has a positive balance, it's repaid.
We'll repay the sales tax.
I wonder if it's not enough to cover the whole thing.
Whatever.
If the,
The fund balance
Fund
that she
balance.
was talking about?
yeah, it doesn't have
We'll
enough.
move what's positive
Move
to
it.
sales tax.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, roll call. Mr. Rentz,
Yes.
Barton, absent. Ms. Ballard,
Yes.
Mr. Glass.
Same as previous vote. So Kaylee, does it have to be a majority or a supermajority?
Majority. Ms. Bass,
Yes.
Mr. Castles is absent. Ms. Fallon,
Yes.
2, 3. Okay.
Okay. So let's move in, now we're moving to the budget for fiscal year 26. Review and vote on it.
Okay, yes. While I was sitting here listening to Kim, I also thought of other things. I was thinking about the Western movie, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And except for this one, I'm gonna change ugly.
David?
I'm gonna say, I'm gonna change ugly to unknown.
Oh, okay.
So, my mind does weird things sometimes. I don't know. On page 1 of 10, this is the unknown section. Medicaid, I have $250,000 of revenue. Currently, in the past year, fiscal year 25, there were a lot of changes that Rebecca and Nikki and I talked about. Mainly it was Rebecca's idea on how we charge out Medicaid, what am I trying to say?
Services?
Services, thank you, that we provide for the students. And we moved them out of idea B, which is Fund 7, and into general fund. By doing that, it allows us to get reimbursed for those services, because it's not federal money. So that's a great thing. I don't know the reimbursement allocation on how they come up with that. Last year, or the prior year, we ran a lot of that through high-cost services. There's a cap on how much, there's a pool of money, but that's it. Whereas Medicare, Medicaid, the pool is somewhat unlimited, from what I understand. So that was the reason for the shift. And again, we booked it at $250,000 in revenue. Hopefully, I'm a little conservative on that. And then we turn the page to NFP. I have a $297,000 decrease, a right at $300,000 decrease. I do not have anything in there for a headcount change for October 1st. That's a little, I think the last time I asked Nick, Kaylee, we were down 15 students. That would correspond to about $120,000. 1/3 of that amount would hit fiscal year 26, so we're talking about $40,000 if we maintain the 15 decrease. I don't know where we are now, but I didn't ask Kaylee recently. So I left it simple with no change. And then finally, we got high-cost services. Last year, we received $162,000. Again, that was a fund that we were in 2 years ago, that there was only 2 or 3 school boards in. Then last year, a bunch of school boards went in. And again, the pot is limited, so our revenue dropped to $162,000, whereas we were originally thinking we'd have $300,000, which brought about why we moved people into Medicaid into general fund. So, I mean, it was a lot of shuffling of money on how we would operate. And we get reimbursed on Medicaid fiscal year 25 on what we spent in fiscal year 26. We don't know that amount. That's the reason it's an unknown over there. High-cost services, I booked at $100,000. I asked Janice Martinez about it. She said, well, that sounds kind of like a decent number. Versus last year, we were $300,000. We budgeted $100,000 this year. Final commentary on 25. We started out with a $900,000 original deficit budget number. We received 2 payments from Medicaid. We received $236,000. We received fiscal year 23 final adjustment. We received fiscal year 24 final adjustment. So the auditors were catching up on that. The state auditors, not our auditors. We had a $66,000 transfer from the Medicaid fund. And that was just a zero out that fund, just because it's easier to account for whenever you start off with zero balance. We had $143,000 transfer from sales tax to work to help general fund on retiree costs on OGB. We moved 2 buses from general fund into maintenance fund. That was $184,000. It was a change of a great year in maintenance. So he was able to absorb that. And then we had $37,000 in miscellaneous numbers. That brought us down from a $900,000 original budget to a $189,000 actual number. So there was a lot of one-time benefits. The perfect storm didn't win our direction. That doesn't always happen, but I'm very happy that it did. So
And we just did this.
if we could have another one.
Word.
I would love to have another year like that, but, you know, I really kind of don't know. So those are the unknowns. And then you turn the page, this is all the funds that we have. You know, starts off with the general fund, there's 7 funds in the general fund, make up general fund. And the only one that has a deficit is the general fund, Fund 1. 301, 302, those are in and out funds. Insurance account has no activity. Medicaid, again, we're going to zero that one out continuously. Payroll fund has no P&L effect. Non-public textbooks, that's an in and out, $2,000 roughly. In career development fund, which is Christie's, it won't break even, but you know, it will have a plus or minus. I just budgeted at a flat amount. And then we have our other operating funds, sales tax, lunch, maintenance, and then 2 or 3 others that are kind of small. Sales tax, I budgeted $2,850,000 for revenue. A payment at, through the monthly payments through the year, and then the final 13 check, $2,815,000 with a $35,000 transfer. That nets to zero. Lunch fund, $1,224,000 in revenue, $1,294,000 in payouts, a deficit of $70,000, which is kind of in line with the current year. And the remainder of those were all pretty much state grants or federal grants that zero out every year. And the gray items, those are funds that we no longer have. So those funds seem to be usually not being funded by the state or the feds. Let's see. Debt service towards the very bottom, it's Fund 51. We'll probably bring in about $1,240,000 in that, and we'll pay out about $1,020,000, that will leave $220,000. That will cash flow our debt payment. The current year, we had to borrow money from the general fund to pay the debt service, because in total, the revenue, we have the correct amount, but part of that revenue is booked as a receivable, so we don't have cash. The money's sitting over the sheriff's office, and it's about that $200,000 price tag. So that eliminates that problem. You get into the general fund itself, page 4 of 10 is very small, but it's the blow up of, you can see the blow up on page 5 of 10 through 6 of 10, out of 10. And column 1, that's fiscal year 26, that's where I started with, $1,048,000. And then Nikki and company hatcheted that number down to $300,000. We had $748,000 in cuts. So, I mean, that's pretty tremendous. Column 2 and 3 relates to people that were able to legitimately be pushed into grants that were not able to be done in prior years. Column 4 is general school application, where we decreased the number of teachers based on head count. It was the first time we were really able to do that, based off the declining enrollment over the number of years. Column 5 is the same thing, special ed teachers, there's a couple there. Column 6, we moved 1 teacher to a grant there, and then item 7 was program reduction on things that again were taken over by grants. So that gets us down to a $300,000 deficit balance. Again, there's the unknowns that really do spook me quite a bit. I mean, we could be at close to $200,000 deficit, we could be at $400,000 or $500,000 deficit when we get to the end of the year. So that's where I see that we're going to be.
So David, I was hoping that you got this at least to $100,000 where I could consider voting for. Here's my question, here's my problem.
Yes.
The board voted to give the superintendent RIF. Why was it not used? Because I can see the first year deficit, the second year deficit, the third year, but this is the fourth year. So I voted for that, even though I hate to get rid of somebody. But it should have been at least considered to get this number down, because I just don't think it's fiscally responsible to go year after year after year, then in another year. And I just don't think it's logical to do that. So that's my issue, that's my question. I know that you guys did a decent job with this, but I think there were some other things that could have been considered, that should have been considered to offset this $300-some thousand. Because if you look, I don't know what it was the first year, I don't know what it was the second year, I know what it was last year, which is pretty, you know, it seems as if it's basically staying, I guess, in the same area.
Yeah. Let me back up for 1 second. If you go to page 7 of 10, you'll see the deficits. Column C, D, E, F, G, and then H through L favor those numbers. So those are our numbers. Column C was the prior year, $189,000. Column D was $374,000. That's fiscal year 24. That had $414,000 of timber money in that money. So it would have been way worse. Fiscal year 23 was this $115,000 decrease. 22 was 379, fiscal year 21 was 201, and then prior to that was favorable numbers. So, as far as the RIF, I mean,
We may have, but what I'm saying is we should have done whatever we needed to do to get to zero or close to zero as possible. This to me, if James was buying buses every year and he was going over that, I'm thinking the third or fourth year the checkbook would be taken away from him. So all I'm saying is, relative to the board, is that I don't feel comfortable voting for a deficit on the fourth year. I don't. Everybody else can speak for themselves. They can do what they want to do. I just can't support that. I know that there was a good, job, done. A lot of things were done. I'm proud of all those things, but I think we should have gone deeper, no matter how hard it is, because in leadership roles, sometimes at some point you have to make those tough decisions, and I think this was one of those opportunities that we should have made those tough decisions. Because again, you got, people that see what we're doing and comment on what we're doing and how we do it. So I just think that should have been a battle.
I mean, I'm not probably the right person to talk about it, but I know in the classrooms they're trying to keep a ratio, and to drop another teacher or another parent, whichever direction that is, I think it would overload the classroom.
There's nowhere else to put. We cut.
We got the central office, we got bus drivers, we got an array of employees. I'm not saying that you specifically target anybody, but don't sit and tell me that you could not have made other cuts to offset this deficit. It's unacceptable. No other way I'm gonna look at it other than being unacceptable, especially 4 years, not 3 years, not 2 years, not 1 year, but I'm talking 4 years. That's just not acceptable to me.
So what do you think?
I agree with you totally. I agree with everything you're saying, and I've been trying to bring this up the past couple of few years. It's really hard to vote on a budget that we're voting in the red every year. It's hard to do. The problems that I have is, I feel like this 300,000 is manageable if we are working towards reducing it. If something happens that it starts going up, then we're going to have to make some serious adjustments to it, because I can't see it going up during the year. If it goes down, that's great, but if it starts going up, goes the opposite direction than what we're expecting it to do, then we got problems. The one thing that I would like to address, and I've talked about it to other people, mentioned it to other people, and you always get this thrown back, and it's true to a degree, is that the State Department throws so many new programs on you, and then you have to have somebody to do that program, so you have to hire somebody to do it. So you've got another positions added by the state that we didn't have, that we have to have to implement their program that they threw on us. So that's another thing. And I'm assuming that those positions fall into the administrative positions. And if you look in fiscal year 21, and of course everything increases, but not everything, because I'll show you in a second. But in fiscal year 21, our administration salaries were $1,086,026. fiscal year '26, our administrative salaries are $1,347,000, which is $300,000 more almost.
Time out. If you look in between fiscal year '23, I'm on page 7 of 10. Between
That's what I'm
columns, sorry, okay, between columns E and D, or D and E, that $200,000, you see that arrow? That's where we moved $200,000 of salaries from other salaries, code 119, into line 111. So when I say 200,000, it's actually 133, it's 67 stayed over there. And then the following year, another 50,000 rose from 119 up into administrative salaries.
All right, what does that mean?
It means salaries did not increase by, time out, let's look at another thing. If we're looking at salaries, fiscal year '21, we were at $7,680,000 total salaries. Fiscal year '25, we're at $7,087,000. Now, and part of that reason for that increase was because in fiscal year 22, 23, 24, there are mandated pay raises that went in. And for 23, it was $397,000. Now, then that's all positions. I mean, that's not just administrative salaries, not just teaching salaries. But a lot of the change is strictly for mandated pay raises by the state.
So that's what I'm saying, a lot of this stuff is mandated by the state, just thrown on us, that we
So it
have no,
doesn't
that we have no control over.
Doesn't mean we're hiring more people.
Exactly.
It means that the people who are in positions are getting the mandated raises.
And we moved dollars from code 119 up into code 111. So, I mean, really you have to add 111 and 119 together in order to get a true picture of admin salaries.
So what you're saying is, in fiscal year '24, it's basically 1,123, rather than 1,323. And from that point on, we carried that 200 every year across?
Time out. Let's look at it a different way. If you add up 111 and 119,
Yeah.
fiscal year '24 is right at 1.4 billion. If you look at the prior year, 1,395,000. I mean, we're at $5,000. Fiscal year '25, it dropped to 1,356,000. If you add up those two lines, which is appropriate.
Okay, I'll say that.
All right. So, I don't know where else to go with that,
But what you're saying though is that in reality, it's not really if you compare it to 21, you can't compare it to 21 because there's 200,000 added to that.
well, you gotta factor in that we've had the MFP pay raises
Right.
that were in those numbers. So yes,
And
it
it's
distorts it.
It's
Okay.
both 111 and 119
Well, I got that.
combined.
I got that. That doesn't change that number at the top, other than add more to it.
The COVID payments, is that in there too? Is that involved? The COVID payments is not in that area? We had
payments,
money
that
from
came
COVID
out
that
of-
that they paid.
No, that came out of federal line. So I don't know, go ahead.
I just want to ask this. When your state makes us do $2,000, I put it in the salary tax, they give us money back.
Yeah.
But then every year after that, we're stuck.
Yeah. Page 10 of 10 is the MFP data. And lines 13, 14, 15, 16 reflect the pay raises that were mandated to be given. So, I mean, you gotta consider those whenever you're looking at payroll. Payroll would have stayed relatively flat without these numbers.
The thing that bothers me is when they say, okay, the state wants to give you money. Okay, give them $2,000, build it into their salary. We're gonna give you some money. Well, then the next year, we still have that salary, because we can't go back down. but they don't give us any more money to support it.
Which means, Carla, if that's the case, then there are some things that we should not be doing, especially if we know that that's gonna be stuck there. What I'm saying, David, I'm not indicting you, because I think you've done a great job. All I'm saying is that there have been things that I voted on that I know I shouldn't have voted on, but at the time I voted on, I thought at that point in time, it was in the best interest, and I stand on that vote. All I'm saying is from here on out, we don't need to be doing any and everything that we think we should be doing, especially when we're looking at what we're looking at now. That's all I'm saying. I don't need no explanation or none of that. I just want people to own up that we could do better. You know, it may be hard to do it, but we definitely can. So, again, if it was 100 or less, I would be, in favor of it, but I just can't go with it. I think, again, you guys have done an excellent job. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. No, I don't think nobody should be cut. What I am saying is that at some point we may have to look at that, especially if Randy's talking about things could be going up. I just don't think that's a good message for us to be stewards over what, people have expected us to do. I think at some point you got to, cut it down. And certainly we want classrooms to be accepted. Certainly we want what we got. But if we can't get that, we don't need to keep pushing the button, forward when we know that we just can't do it. So I'm applauding everything that you guys have done. It's just not satisfactory to me with regards to the number. 100, I would have considered.
I understand.
Yeah. But my one vote not going to affect one way or the other. My voice is going to be heard, is what I'm saying.
Yes.
My question is this. We know what y'all done, and it was great. Y'all saved a lot of money. What else is there that we can do? I mean, we can't cut teachers.
We did that.
Well, I mean, we can't cut anymore. I'm saying, okay, from here on out, what you gonna do? What you gonna cut?
Well, you can cut, Ms. John, you just have to make adjustments, and adjustments may be what they don't want to do, but don't say that we can't do it, because you can. You can always do that. I don't think we want to do that, but I'm not going to subscribe to the notion that there's nothing else that we can't do, because there is something that we can do. But we don't have to do it. I'm saying for the purposes of moving forward. I'm not going to vote for a negative budget again, because I only got one more time. The board can do what they want to do. I'm speaking solely for Barron and District 4. I think we all need to be honest. We all need to be transparent. We all need to let people know that we're trying to do our very best. We're not trying to save this over here for somebody, this over here for somebody else, when we need to be doing what we need to be doing here, which is getting rid of whatever we need to get rid of to offset that deficit. That's all I'm saying.
I think one thing that I would like to add that I was gonna add when I was talking about it was, between administrators and teachers, we have reduced, the administrative salaries going up that much is always concerning. But the answers I get seem to make sense to a degree. The teacher salaries, we have done the hard thing as far as teachers. We reduced teacher salaries by $374,000 in that same period. We've gone up in administrative. It almost looks like we got too many chiefs and not enough Indians in this deal. But when you start digging into it, it's things that are thrown on us that make it that way. And with parents, we dropped our parents. We reduced our parents by 21,000. We've done some of the hard things, and I applaud y'all for doing that. That's great. I know it's hard to do. I know that's one of the hardest things to do, is to tell somebody or say, look, you're not going to have a position there. But as our numbers go down, then that's the only sensible thing to do. I know everybody wants to have 15 or 16 in a classroom, but at some point, it may be that.
And there's a legal thing
There's
there.
and legal, we have to keep it within a certain range too, but at some point we may be looking at more in a classroom too. But the only thing that really concerns me on this budget, I think they've done an outstanding job this past year of finding money and reducing things and cutting things, and especially coming into this year, we could have been looking at, we could have been looking at a lot more than 300,000. 300,000 hurts me, because I was thinking it was going to roll in here and hit zero. That's what I was thinking. But I understand that to a degree, but also I'm with Barron. At some point, we can't keep doing this. I can do it, you know, we voted on it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years in a row. Last year really hurt, but, to vote on it, but we got it down to within reason. I can vote on this, but I also think that we can do, I also think we can do better. But I think.
I wanna know, I want y'all to tell me what. I want to hear the facts. I want y'all to tell me, what is it that y'all thinking that y'all can expect these people to do that's gonna cut that much money? Tell me.
You're gonna have to go to your utilities, to cut back on utilities, so nobody practices on the ball field after a certain hour, or, you know, lights out, that's it, on different things. So, I mean, utilities, buses are old, we've gotta have the buses. So, I
The
mean,
utility bill for the last month was $47,000.
Yeah.
Yes, that is correct. Every month, James gives every principal a copy of their utility bill, and he compares it to the month before, and he gets on to them about walk around your schools, turn off your lights, check your air conditioners, make sure, fuss at your teachers. I mean, he does. Every month he does that. Every month Sandra does the same thing with her lunch participation. I mean, so yeah, he does
You know,
that.
so utilities are being watched as close as they can be. Gas, you can't tell how much diesel's gonna be. It goes back and forth every time you go to the gas station.
I agree, everything's
So I
going
don't
up.
know,
But, yeah,
Where?
everything is going up. Our numbers are going down, but the number that the state is giving us per student for MSP, is it going up?
Nope,
It has not
Okay,
changed in
then.
how
Yeah.
many years.
that's it. I mean, I understand, that's true.
And
That's
we're
it.
losing kids.
Yep, that's what I'm saying.
And
Our
we're
numbers are
losing
going down,
budgets.
but that number, the cost of everything is going up, but that number is not.
And we still
And
have
we're
to
still
pay a
getting
$47,000 utility bill for how many less kids? Do we say 20 less kids?
but you don't wanna cut out programs that we
Yeah.
have that you have to use utilities for, like the football and band and, I mean, all these different things. So where else are you gonna get it from?
Yeah, I would like to know.
I mean, I
where the
hear you,
thinking
Baron.
is.
I do, I
Maria,
hear you.
hold on,
No, listen, can I finish,
let me
though?
qualify what I'm saying. I don't care about anybody getting their feelings about what
No,
I,
no,
hold
no,
on,
no, no.
what I feel that the board should have done. You guys served on this committee, you did a good job, I'm done with it. What I'm saying is that I'm not voting for it. I think that there could have been some things that would have been done different. I talked to the superintendent about one in specific. There's some other things I could have talked to her about, but that's a private conversation that her and I had, and I'm gonna reserve that right to not even discuss it. I'm ready to vote on this, and other than that, I don't wanna hear nothing else about it.
Okay, well, I'm gonna speak. What I wanted to say was, I do understand where you're coming from. This is terrible. Do I like voting on a negative budget this many years in a row? Absolutely not. You said the same thing, but this is where we're at. This, you said yourself, the state is putting all of this stuff on us, making us do all of these things, new programs, new, you know, and we have to do it, but where are they helping us? They're not.
They're not.
So, I don't like it. I'm telling you, I don't like it, but this is where we're at.
I
And
think
Maria,
any of us like
if you
it.
don't like it, you can vote yes, or you can vote no. That's-
And I am,
And that's,
and I-
that's your right.
And I am, but I just
So, but
wanted
but
to
don't-
voice my feelings.
Don't get in your feelings
I'm not.
when,
Do you think I'm getting in my
when
feelings?
somebody else is gonna disagree with
No,
them.
no. We can agree to disagree or whatever.
Well, I don't
I'm
think we
just
disagree.
saying,
I don't think we
don't
disagree.
disagree. We don't, because I do agree with
Yeah.
you. I do agree with you. I don't like this, and I'm not in my feelings. I just wanted to say how I felt about
I love you for that.
it.
But we just don't know what else that you could possibly do without affecting the education that they're getting and the programs that we have.
Well,
And the truth of the matter is, David's required to turn in a budget by September the 15th. it has to be approved by.
Which is Monday.
And by is Monday. If you don't approve the budget, then we're out of compliance. And then we're in trouble, because we have to have a budget. I'm thankful that he is super, super wrong when he gives us a budget, because he always gives a worse picture, you know, than we do, and that's where I just kinda have to live, is we're constantly trying to, I mean, he can tell you, when he walked in with that budget, my head hit the table and I nearly cried, because I knew this was gonna happen.
But I don't know where else we can fix it, unless we get more money from the state.
Well,
That's what I'm
yeah,
saying.
and we're not getting any more money from the state, and that's a shame, that our legislators, every legislator you
putting
talk to,
our
oh yeah, we're all for
district in this
education, we're all for
position.
education. But in reality, they're not for education.
Not public.
So, you know, they lie to your face
You don't
constantly.
pass the gator bill
But, so-
and be for public education.
Right, you sure don't. And so, you know, it's one thing after another as far as the state of Louisiana goes, and probably other states too, but, so, we realize that. And we as board members in the local communities, we have to deal with those things. People don't understand a lot of these things. They think we have this unlimited supply of money, which we don't. We do not have, we have limited funds, we're not getting any increase in funds any year. And everything's going up, and everything's going up, and everything's going up. Yeah, they did a phenomenal job last year, you know, bringing things down, getting things good. And I'm hoping and I'm praying that we'll do the same thing this year. We'll lower this 300,000. But there again, I think we need to keep our minds to the ball. If it starts going up, we're gonna have to make some hard choices.
Absolutely.
And so let's go ahead, if somebody would just give us a motion on this, we'll vote on this and go one way or the other with it. And also, I would suggest possibly in the next years coming, don't throw a budget down here and say it has to be sent to the State Department and approved within 2 days, because, you know, if we don't vote for it, we're gonna be out of compliance. I would much rather say, you know, give us 2 weeks to discuss this a little bit more, you know, send it to it.
That's not gonna happen, Randy.
Okay.
He was
Well,
waiting on us, especially when we are doing the math and trying to, I was working on vacation, trying to put together spreadsheets to move all those numbers with these ladies, and they're testing their kids and then working on budgets, trying to, and he is hounding them around the clock, trying to get those numbers together. It is a team effort. At the same time, he's going through audits, and he's trying, and there's auditors been here the window is so tight. And it comes right after you finish up the whole July 30th or June 30th stuff. You've got all your new hires and stuff. I'm telling y'all, I live on that hall with them, and I watch what they do. It is unbelievable. So I know, but he got it to you this weekend, because he ruined my Friday when he brought it into me.
But see, in the past, David, we've gotten this way beyond when we get it now. No issues with what you're doing. What I think Randy's saying is that be considerate of board members, because at the end of the day, we're the ones that's got to make this decision. And when people get mad and want to whoop somebody's ASS, it's us, it's not you guys. So all Randy's saying is just due diligence. Consider that we got to make this decision, and I would much rather prefer to get it a little bit sooner than that. I think, again, we all agree it's a team, but everybody's got to do their job, and don't just exclude one for the other. What I'm saying is that we need it in a timely manner. We need to be able to look at it. You're doing a great job, David. Keep doing what you're doing. Nobody's putting a hatchet down on you tonight or anybody else in this room. So I don't want to hear nothing tomorrow about, well, the board was this, the board was this. No, what we're doing is having a discussion like we're supposed to do with regards to the budget, because the board sets the budget. Okay, that's the only thing that we can do other than hire and fire a superintendent. So I think it's within our reason and our right to do exactly what it is that we're doing now. This needs to be fixed. It's not where it should be, and there are some other things that could have been done. The question was just asked, well, what happens if you got to do this? Well, we just got to do it then. Well, if you can do it then, you can do it now. That's all I've been saying. At the end of the day, we're ready to vote on this and move forward, but I don't like somebody coming to tell me that, you know, it's raining outside, but you're going to tell us, no, that just don't. I'm too old of a cat to be called a kid. I know that there are things that could be done at all points in time. If we needed to do some things, we could have done. We didn't. I'm satisfied. I'm happy. I wish the very best of everybody, because at the end of the day, we all want to succeed. But don't paint the picture, that other things could not have been done. That's unacceptable. So I'm ready to vote.
I'll make a motion that we approve the 25-26
This is gonna be a roll call.
budget.
Do we have a second?
And I think that every board member should at least be here to deal with this budget, because that's the only job that they have to do. So I don't know what we need to do, but we need to do something.
Well, that's something we have little control over, but I agree totally with you on that too. It's something that, our board members should be more in tune. Of course, some people are sick, and that's understandable. And, some people aren't. But,
Alright, roll call. All ready? Mr. Rance?
yes.
Mr. Thornton? Ms. Ballard?
Yes.
Mr. Glass?
No.
Ms. Bass?
Yes.
Mr. Castles? Absent. Ms. Fallon?
Yes.
Now, Kelly, if I had 3 other barons in the night, we'd be in good shape. Just a little. But David, seriously, I think you do a great job.
I think nothing.
You know, please don't leave with any, whatever. I think you're doing a wonderful job. I think it's a saving grace to have you. Again, keep doing what you're doing.
Your whole team.
Yeah,
Well,
just let us know
I mean,
if
I'm blessed
it's
with Carla. I was
going.
gonna turn the whole thing over to Carla and leave, you know, fake sickness.
Yeah, if it's going the opposite
But I couldn't do
direction.
it. I never had.
Keep us updated.
Just don't be
If you
afraid to
start
make
seeing-
the decisions that need to be made, in spite of, you know, what the differences may be, because you're the person that's looking at these numbers.
And I want to compliment you, Mr. Reynolds, for being Johnny on the spot with everything. When they call you, you take care of it. And that's a big deal, because it stops things from getting a lot worse.
Yes.
And it's good to be able to have a civil discussion and not jump up hitting everybody. All right, I don't guess we really need a financial update, do we?
I did not even bring it.
So let's
Can you
go
make
to,
us aware, if it does start going up? Then we can maybe do something at that point before it gets too late and too worse. God willing, and bring it on by. That's right.
Monica? You're correct, I was in here last month, but, everything's going well. Our Kelly enrollment is almost at max capacity. Pre-K and low enrollment is very low. They're at 71. I said the other day at the staff meeting, we could take like 50 more kids, and poor Natalie was just like, no, we can't. Because it's 71, but in that 71, it's a lot.
Is it just the kids that we have? We just don't have that age group?
We looked up the birth rate a couple weeks ago on one of our Friday meetings, and the birth rate for that year in Cold Parish was 89. So, but you know, you're gonna have your late birthdays, your early birthdays, I don't know. We did lose from the kids that were Kelly last year moving up, I think there was 10 or 12 that are gone. And I mean, they truthfully, they moved out of Parish where, we're hoping some of those come back. But probably the 15 were down in the district. I know that's all over, but I mean, we probably had 15 that we could have brought from Kelly up to the pre-K that are gone.
But we do have some 4-year-olds in the parish who are not coming to
We
church.
do.
Is it bare minimum?
I mean, we've been watching Facebook,
more than
kids
you
that are,
would think.
you know, homeschooled, different things.
They're missing an opportunity.
They are.
So
They're
Nick,
missing
let me
an
ask you this,
opportunity.
because I didn't notice till yesterday, I didn't know we had a Christian school here with about 30-something students.
I'd have to look and see.
Because it was brought to my attention, because I only thought about Bethel. So the kids that go there, David, that funding is taken away from us.
I'm not sure
I don't
how that
think
part works.
I think they keep theirs separate. I don't think they use the same.
Yeah, I think that.
I've not seen Old Bethel on anything as a deduction
Mhm.
on
Are you referring to Old Bethel or?
Yeah, just in
school?
general, if there's
The
a,
only thing I see deductions for are, we got deductions for university.
Right.
University View, so if they do University View, then that's a public,
Right.
virtual school, we lose money for that. We,
Virtual academy.
a virtual
Louisiana
academy, Louisiana Virtual Academy.
Academy.
Everyone else is not necessarily taking our money yet.
yeah, what I'm saying.
It's gonna phase in. The problem is, they're not coming, so we're
Right.
not getting that MFP. And then, you know, our concern now too, and we had a long conversation about this in our staff meeting, is that, I mean, Delinda has, what'd you say, 25 kids at the kindergarten who have never been to pre-K before. That's a huge, they come in at a very different level of not just academics, but social interaction, and you miss out on so much, and so many opportunities to socialize and learn those social acclimations. Yeah, emotional regulation, how to share, how to get along with other people, how to structure, all those things. And so we are going to be meeting soon to try to put together, and started doing research last night on the differences between students who, you know, attend public pre-K, through pre-K 3 and pre-K 4, and those who do not, because we want the kids to attend our programs, and I can't imagine not wanting to be a part of, especially because it's at no cost. It's in our free breakfast, free lunch, you know, all the things that are there. And of course, my problem as an elementary principal is that I could never compare to the pre-K. Everybody.
Yeah.
So David, if they start out and they leave by, what is October 1st, does that money follow them?
Yes.
It does.
Whoever has them on October 1.
Is it good?
But if they stay there till October 5th and come back to us, we don't get any money.
Exactly.
We don't?
Like if they,
It's a hard date.
Anytime after October 1st, we don't get it.
So we just lose it.
Yes.
And we're carrying that.
Yep.
See, it's like you set up to fail. You know, if the kid is here regardless of what month, you would think that you would receive something, you know, for that kid.
Monica has some program,
The
is
state
it
don't pay.
Right.
63, that you
Yeah.
take a monthly, we
Yeah, we have
get
to turn
paid.
in attendance, we're paid by attendance.
Because
For
10
each
kids is,
month.
what, almost 100,000, right? That's a lot of money.
10 kids.
8,500?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of money that's,
Yeah.
you know, taken from us, go and then come back, and you don't get that 85,000. But you're steady putting out for these amount of kids, this number 8.
Yeah.
So basically, you could keep a kid in your school that's giving you all kind of problems.
Right.
And you hang on to them until October 2nd and say, okay, and then you can legally throw it out.
That happens.
And have them come back.
It happens.
And we don't get the money, but you get.
Well,
That's not even hypothetical. It
That's
happens.
That's the reason why I asked, because, you know, and
Yeah.
hopefully nobody take this wrong. You know, because we have a lot of people that work for us at one time that works other places. So they know what the rules are. And I think it's unfair, because we're all trying to do the same thing, no matter whether it's over on this side of the fence or this side. So all I'm saying is that people need to be fair to us, because people always say what public school is not doing. Okay, in spite of all the difficulties that we have to go through, all the negativity, most schools that I know, especially this one, you do pretty much everything that you can on a daily basis. There's some differences and variations, but as far as implementation, it's taking place. And again, I was sitting at a table, 8 of North Louisiana, and I told any of them that I would put anybody in our facility against anybody else in their facility, and we'll still come out on top as far as performance. Okay, because we have somebody that's academic. Okay, we have, if you look at our truancy numbers, which you're gonna bring it up, either I will, we're doing better than anybody else in the state. As a matter of fact, the stuff that Nick and myself, Angela, and I don't know who else worked on it, they're wanting to adopt what we're doing because our numbers are producing a yield. So again, in spite of what you may hear or say, I think you guys deserve a pat on your back, because I hear what people say. I read Facebook messages all the time, which I don't engage now. And sometimes I want to, but it's just not fair.
Well, and I guess ultimately, this whole team will agree. All we're trying to do is educate our public future. And when you do not participate in our public school as a whole, then I don't know that you're really ready for public
Right.
workforce. This is, and then I said, whether you are a supporter of public school or whatever, you do you, that's fine. But, I mean, this is our future, you know? And so we have to, not everybody can afford to homeschool or
Right.
to private school. This isn't, our job is to make free public school the very best it can be,
Right.
so that we have a promising future ahead of us. So it's just, it's frustrating to, you know, constantly be working to make that happen. So, yes, we're trying to bring those pre-K 4 babies so that they have that same level playing field when they get to kindergarten, and they can hit the ground running when they get to Grayson.
Because you know, nigga, some schools, I wish that went on, but I'm gonna say it. When schools start, they don't actually start taking absentees until September. We take them the very moment they come. And we're still, 96, what's it?
I mean, nobody's under 92 right
Yeah,
now, but I mean, they're up to
96%,
97, you know,
which is
they're doing really good.
fabulous.
Yeah, they're doing really good.
I think we're real lucky in this parish to have the people we have in the school system. We have a very professional staff, very professional people, very good, very extremely good school system. People don't understand in other parts of the state what we have here, but we have a fantastic school system in the parish. And it all comes down to the people that you've surrounded yourself with, these people in this room. And have done a great job, and I just want you to know we appreciate everything that y'all do. And that's all the pat on the back I'm gonna give. But
Anything else, I feel like we took care of.
It's warranted because they go through a lot. You think, Nikki, you guys were at a meeting Monday? Law firm?
Rebecca and Angela did the law conference
Okay, see,
virtually.
we were at the Truancy, so they got all this other stuff going on in the state in spite of what they gotta do on a daily basis. And you just can't function again. I wouldn't wanna do nothing that you guys are doing, absolutely nothing, but I will speak on you guys' behalf, because y'all should know that my mouth is never free. And I'm always saying what Caldwell is doing, in spite of our differences, but the superintendent and I talk all the time. And I value the fact that she'll pick up the phone to at least get another opinion. Whether she agrees or disagrees is not the issue, but we talk. And I think that's what's missing in most places, because there's a genuine relationship. Nick and I were here intentionally, by my own being. But we're here now, and I know, and I'm assuming that she knows that she can pick up the phone at any point in time, because she does, to call me and I think any of the board members, because we all talk. Melinda, Miss Johnny, Maria was recommended to be with you. So that there's a relationship that people don't even see, that other places there's no relationship. So we may, and I'll speak for me, I may get here and give my 2 cents, but at the end of the day, we're gonna come to some kind of terms, because I think we all genuinely respect each other. Randy and I didn't see eye to eye on nothing. He and I talked about our daughters and our kids. We talk about everything. So my point is, I think when you open yourself up to be vulnerable, then you can value a little bit more respect out of each other. Every month I get closer and closer to leaving this thing, and I get a little, sad, because that's all I've done, and I've enjoyed it. I've met some great people throughout the years, but I think unequivocally, this is the best board that I've worked with. I'll go on record to say that and debate anybody. There's a lot of intelligence sitting right here. Maria being one. No, I tell it all. Nick is very academic.
As long as she's not in her feelings.
Yeah, she. We'll talk about that.
Anybody got Christie?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have much. Like I said, we're finished with literacy except for a few new kids that have entered in some makeup They started numeracy today, everything went well. So they should be through next week with that. But we don't get any reports out of that, so this is just a field test basically for numeracy first year, so. CTE, I met with my CTE teachers, Wednesday, and went over the new accountability model with them to try to explain to them. In the old accountability, CTE was the icing on the cake. We were the extra points for those certifications. Now we're part of the meat of everything, and so we've got to make sure that we're getting those advanced credentials, and they have to be a part of getting scores up, not just credentials. They've got to be a part of getting kids ready for LEAP and ACT and work keys and everything.
Somebody from Tensaw Parish mentioned you. Chris Well. When you said CT, I was gonna ask what your title was.
Yeah.
Chris, you want to tell them about the workforce, the family, the parent?
Oh yeah, we're gonna have the career fair October the 7th. We're gonna feed the families at 5:30 in the cafeteria, and then start the career fair at 6. So it's gonna be like it's been the past couple of years. We'll have all the businesses, some colleges, different things there. So that, yeah, October 7th, starting at 5:30. And then Marcia has the regular college fair, where it's all the colleges that Friday, which I think is like the
But
10th.
isn't that during school?
That's during school, and every grade gets to go.
Is feeding different? Have y'all ever fed before?
No, we hadn't, actually Brian Kaufman, who's part of the workforce investment that comes around and meets with us once a month, he said another school did that. Because the past 2 years, we had food trucks. You know, so I'm not sure how much they sold, but he said that a school did that, and so we're gonna do that this year and see if that maybe increase.
Yeah, there was attendance.
Brian?
He's done.
I don't have a lot. We got most of our stuff out of the White House this week, so. that was
Okay, all right,
good.
all the stuff moved out of the White House.
Did it go down yet?
Not yet.
What'd you do with it?
Well,
It
some
went
of
to
it,
Kelly.
some of it we junked, some of it moved to Kelly. They opened the room up
Kelly
for
that is now technology.
All the good stuff went to Kelly.
it. We spent some time scrapping things and pulling good parts out of the bad, and had bags and carts and loaded a couple trailer loads up to Kelly.
Yeah,
I don't have any, I've talked enough.
Rebecca?
Just one thing, September 29th at 1 o'clock, you'll see it on Facebook, but I wanna officially invite you. That's gonna be our official grand opening for the cafe. So that's the Monday, September 29th at 1 o'clock. We're gonna have, it coincides with some other stuff going on in town that week, so all of our folks from Louisiana Green Fuels are gonna be there, as well as Brian and Kristen from Pennsylvania will be there that day. And of course, you know, we have a few connections with people like the mayor in town and that sort of stuff. But if you guys can make it, I'd love for you. It's a Monday at 1 o'clock. We're gonna, you know, do the full thing with the big scissors and all of that. So the kids are really excited. Allison
no.
and Jane.
So they're fixing that. Ms. Violet?
Our JAC program went to the regional meeting this summer, well, I guess it's July, end of July. And they came back with a lot of recognition from awards and plaques. I'm not gonna take the time to go through all the awards, but here's one of the plaques at the high school. Now, this thing that Justin got last year.
Yeah.
High school got it this year. And Justin got a lot of other awards too. He does such a fabulous job. To Stacy, this is her first, she completed her first year, and she got 5 different certificates. And she brought them to me, and here they are. I'm not gonna go through each one of them, but our JAG program, we have an outstanding JAG program at the high school and junior high, and we're so proud of them. And so, you see them, just tell them congratulations on the good job that you all are doing, so.
Ms. Wiley?
I want to say congratulations on 50 years of working with the school system. I don't know if we
Yes.
said anything last
Crazy.
No, you
month.
shouldn't. I wouldn't have cake.
Well, if you bring a cake next month, we'll help you eat it. I just want to say congratulations.
This is the only school system that I have ever worked in. For 50
One of my
years.
kindergarten teachers.
I never wavered, and then I'm gonna do it another year, I think, and.
Not another 50?
Yeah, another 50, yeah. Yeah.
She's gotta have some time to run around.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Congratulations, that's awesome.
It's a fun place to work, it really is. You know, when you work all your life, that's the only thing you think you do, you know, but I still have fun
I think they covered it all, so we're good.
All right, any comments from the board? We commented quite a bit tonight.
Hey, you have your athletic passes and ball games.
Oh, yeah, home ball game, home opener tomorrow night,
Who
yeah.
they play?
Winfield. Yeah.
You know, I remember being like 7, 8 years, man.
Come on, yeah.
I got you at Caldwell, she just about me.
I need, for real, I'm gonna sit by you since I actually feel it.
Okay. I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll say.
All in favor?
Aye.